What's going on, people? It's Jupiter 16. Hope everyone is doing well. I'm here with a video on 5 tips to help you win more in college football 25. I'm excited to bring it to you because I've been so hyped about this game. After 10 years, the college football video game is back. It's a little weird because it's always been NCAA, and I've been working on calling it college football more. That's besides the point. These 5 tips would definitely help you win more in college football 25. They are just a few of many I could give you, but I believe these are very essential to becoming better at the game and being able to compete against some really good competition. All right, let's get down to business. Tip number 1, wait to sprint. As I break down these tips, you will see the key to winning more is being patient. You don't want to rush things. Whenever you run the ball, you want the play to develop before you break out into space. This gives you more control and it helps you read the running gaps better. Once you see the gap, that's when you press the sprint button to take off through it. Sometimes if you press the sprint button before that, you're more likely to run into your own blocker, especially if they are losing their battle at the line. Waiting to press the sprint button also allows you to maneuver on the field better. Players with high change of direction and agility attributes make it hard to tackle when you use this method. Take note of this tip and it will help you big time in the run. Having a solid run game is critical to winning games, but also having that with a solid passing game really helps your chances, which brings me to my next tip. Tip number 2, don't rush your pass. Just like my previous tip, the key is to be patient. Rushing the pass leads to interceptions, and interception leads to games lost. And I don't know about you, but it ain't no fun if I'm losing consistently. Yeah, you might have your slump, but me personally, I want to be above that 500 mark, and well above it if I can manage. When you pass the ball, you want to make sure that your quarterback drops all the way back in his stance and plants his foot before you throw it. When you do that, you will get the best accuracy from your quarterback inside the pocket. Of course, if you have a quarterback with a high throw and a run ready, that's cool too, but this is the typical drop back formation. Some of you might say, easier said than done, Jupiter. I keep getting rushed on the line with no time to throw. Well, if that's the case, you might want to adjust your pass blocking pre-snap. I'm going to break this down a little bit more in my next tip, but just to summarize now, pre-snap adjustments are necessary. Sometimes you're going to have some chess matches where the game is just a scheme and adjustments are being made back and forth and both players are really good at, calling their plays. Other times it could be checkers because it's a shootout and both players just keep scoring, and you're racking up the scoreboard. Nevertheless, to be prepared for either scenario, you can't just rush your pass. Wait for your receivers to run their routes and then you throw them the ball. Wait for the route to develop. On average, you maybe have like 3 to 5 seconds to throw. Within that time, you literally have to break down the field and make a read. And how I said, just do it, like Nike. Don't even second guess it. Tip number 3, make adjustments. Now, like I briefly mentioned in the previous tip, making adjustments are necessary. And when it comes to making adjustments, you have coaching adjustments, and you have pre-snap adjustments. And if I were to add a bonus in there, you have in-game adjustments when the ball is live. Now, how adjustments are made in the game separates the good from the great from the outstanding players. Certain players are really good at mixing up their play calling, while others can be very predictable. Based off the way that your opponent is playing, or how you want to change the aspect of the game, you can make these adjustments. You got an opponent that keeps showing the blitz and the blitz actually keeps coming, start mixing in screenplays or short routes in your play scheme. You got an opponent that plays zone and doesn't put much pressure on the run and gun that drive. Now this works offensively and defensively. Of course, I'm just speaking generally. Now, to find your coaching adjustments, you'll press R3 when picking a play. And to see your pre-snap adjustments, you will press R3 before a play when you're, walked up to the line. You have to be mindful of the time you have each play to make these adjustments because you wouldn't want a delay of game. So you have to be quick with them. All in all, these adjustments you make can be very helpful, especially in late game situations if you're trying to close out a game or you're trying to complete a comeback. Those are the ones you love to win, but you really don't like to lose. Tip number 4, know when to hit stick. Most of my big plays are given up because I was trying to hit stick in open space or I just missed the hit stick very bad. The tackling in this game comes down to timing and angle. Some players let the CPU do the tackling for them, but sometimes they don't make that tackle. If you want to be sure to make that tackle, you got to do it yourself. At least that's my thought about it, but if you feel different, that's fine too. Now, I don't know about you, but it was a big adjustment for me since EA took out the conservative tackle. It was added into Madden some years ago, I don't know exactly when, and then it was taken out. But now, in College Football 25, it's back. To me, conservative tackle brings a more skillful way to make tackles and just adds another way to tackle. Before, you would have dive tackle or hit stick, and those are really tough to do unless you strafe and stay steady with your opponent and make those tackles. That was a difficulty dealing with those elusive players. Still the case in this game, but definitely more control with conservative tackle button back. There are some pros and cons to it, of course, but if you're like how I was, every tackle I made, I wanted to be a hit stick, but then you miss tackles and now your opponent is taking it to the house for the 5th time. Now, don't get me wrong, you still want a hit stick, but only when it's right. If a running back is coming up the gap and you are right there at the gap too, put a hitting on that man, a big boom, and you might be rewarded with a fumble too. Side note, fumbles in this game are more likely than any football game I've ever played. Do I feel like there should be less? No, but I do know there are many within the community that think they should dial it down. I love how it can change the competitive nature of a game. Like, that to me is exciting. And it's not like it's happening every possession unless you got arcade mode on. But when you put a hit stick on at the right moment, those fumbles are game changers. Another note, the wear and tear factor makes successful hit sticks that much more important because it can take a toll on your opponent's players, and they either have to sub them out or they run the risk of still playing them. That gives you more opportunities to take over games and win. Tip number 5, practice and have fun. I had to combine these two because at the end of it all, you gotta have fun. But like I said earlier, it ain't no fun if you're losing. And we wanna win. Practicing definitely helps you win and win some more. Some people will tell you that the best practice is to get online and just play a bunch of games and get better from that. I would agree to an extent. If you already got some skill and you're just getting back on from the previous year of football, Madden of course, I'd say yes. Get online and play users and get better that way. But if you are new to this or you're coming back into it after some time, practice. There is literally no harm in practicing. Even if it's just 5 minutes, 10 minutes, something quick. That's going to help improve that win column. You don't necessarily have to go to practice mode, although that is a great mode to help with your skills and also understanding the mechanics of the game. You can play the CPU on low levels and boost up the level as you get better. I'm not saying don't go online as a new user or a user coming back to the game. If you want to do that, then by all means, step in the lobby and run it up. Now, if you are constantly getting blown out or you have a really bad losing record well below the 500 mark, you got to practice a bit. You got to make some changes. And there isn't anything wrong with that, because once you do that and take all these other tips into account, you'll be winning more in College Football 25. This to me, honestly, is one of the best football video games I've played, if not the best. It's still fresh. I got to play it a little more, but it's very dope. Thank you for watching this video on 5 tips to help you win more in College Football 25. If you found this video helpful, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Be on the lookout for more videos in the future. I'm Jupiter16. Peace out.